Yes, we're back already. It's Galadon and the clan Lost Phoenix here with episode 46 of Clash of Clans Attacks. This one, due to popular demand, will focus on the strategy behind the GoWiWi attack, which begs the question, you want to GoWiWi? And I will try to break down the attack into individual steps so that you can GoWiWi on your own. And we will get right into it here, breaking down this attack into individual steps. And right away we're at step 1, which is choose where to attack and never look back. Meaning you want to have a good idea of the direction you're going to come from in the beginning of the attack so that you don't get confused or change your mind, which could lead to a loss. Now I've put the arrows on the screen here just to show the direction of our attack, and the yellow arrows are denoting the beginning of the attack, the areas that we'd like to clear first. The red arrow being the location and direction of the final push, where we intend the king and the queen to hit the town hall. Now we'll start out this attack as we usually do by getting rid of those pesky heroes, which is our next step. The king and the queen are removed from the scene. And that strategy was covered in episode 45, so we will fast forward on to the main part of the attack, which begins with Golems distract while wall breakers act. As you can see, I deployed the golem there. He got the attention of the cannon and the mortar, and then I put down the wall breakers, and they're going to effectively open up the wall. I repeat the same at the bottom, and we have our two initial boxes open. And now here come the wizards, because wizards in flocks protect those big rocks. Those golems are great at taking damage, but not great at dealing it out, so we'll need those wizards to clear those structures on the sides. So those wizards will go to work on those structures around the sides and in those two outermost enclosures. Eventually we'll drop a few wall breakers to get into the middle. We'll go ahead and put our last golem down. Those wizards are working their way in there, and we'll have most of those structures cleared soon. And before you know it, it'll be time to put down the last of our wall breakers, and that brings us to our next tip. Dropping a rage works well at this stage. Usually a well-placed rage spell there will be enough to get the wall breakers through those last two walls. In this case, the two X-bows and that multi-targeting inferno burned them up even with the rage before they could get through. But here come the king and the queen, as our next step is send in the royals to go get the spoils. Because by now hopefully the path has been cleared to the town hall enclosure, and it's going to be that king and queen that take down the town hall and most likely also get 50%. But as we move on, we notice the clan castle troops are still there, which takes us on to our next important tip. Don't let the clan castle give you a hassle. And by that I mean plan ahead for the presence of clan castle troops. Save yourself either an extra rage spell to enrage your troops around them, or a lightning spell like I did here to take them out. And the lightning spell doesn't quite get all of the clan castle troops here, but it is effective enough to make them no longer an issue. And we are already on to the very next step, which is a free spell or two keeps your heroes like new. I know I've often spoken about spell timing and placement. It couldn't be more critical here with those X-bows and infernos in there. You definitely want to preserve your heroes as long as you can, and a well-placed free spell can definitely be the difference between a win and a loss. And here the town hall goes down. Shortly thereafter we hit our 50% and we end the battle with 2 quick stars. So now we are going to take those steps and apply them to a couple more replays here of some different bases. We'll just go through them full speed and watch as they progress. Here I was attacking Red Planet, and you'll notice I tried to activate the king and the queen, and I've got his very cleverly placed Teslas in the way. So we're going to have to deal with those. I went ahead and put my hog riders down here over to the right just to take out one of them for sure, and that would give me an area where I could safely remove the king and the queen. And they also very conveniently clear the way of any big bombs and traps on the way to that corner. So we go ahead and put down our barbarians just to the south of the far east corner here, just to stay out of the range of that other Tesla as we go ahead and clear the queen and the king. And I'll patiently wait for them to go down before we start the rest of the attack. Now we've got a few extra boxes and enclosures here that we're going to have to deal with, especially towards the south. So I put the first golem down, I wait a few seconds to get rid of that Tesla, and I figure he's going to move to the left. There's the second golem at the bottom. wall breakers opening up those two corners. Now we're going to have to be careful with the rest of our wall breakers because we need a lot of them to get through all these walls. You can see these ones get wiped out, but the next wave is going to successfully get through that next enclosure. And once they successfully blow that wall, now here comes the clan castle. I drop all of the rest of my wall breakers. Here comes that rage spell. Hopefully they're going to get through both sets of walls. 1, here come the rest of them moving in. 2, now we've got an open path to the town hall. King and the Queen coming in. They're going to head there eventually. Now all the surrounding structures are clear, and they're right on the top of the town hall. Meanwhile, we had used the lightning spell to get rid of the clan castle troops. The town hall goes down. We're over 43% already. Lots of troops left. The second star is going to come quickly, and we'll go ahead and end the attack with 2 stars. And we will move on to our last replay of the day against that defender there. Now here you can see it's kind of an unusual base design. I've attacked this base before, but I decided to go at it from a different angle this time, just to see how things would work differently here coming from the south. So as I begin the attack, you'll notice that the defender left that bottom part open. That already throws a wrinkle into the attack. Those golems are drawn to the bottom and drawn to those 2 Teslas, so I dropped the hog riders to help with those. Now eventually the golems work their way up through the opening, and almost like a perfectly coordinated ballet, they both turn at the same time and head towards their individual archer towers. So now I followed up with some wizards. I have some extra witches because the king and the queen were not awake here. And they're moving in. They're clearing structures out to each side. Once we get that dark elixir storage out of the way, we'll have a straight path for the last of my wall breakers to head in. And we will go ahead and put down the last golem, the last wall breakers, the king and the queen, dropping the rage spell just in time to accelerate those wall breakers through that blue wall. As the clan castle troops fan out, the king and the queen go to work. The king had that one last structure to get rid of, but once it's gone, they move back to the center. Double freeze spells, lightning spells, rage spells, and that spells disaster for this defender. And the town hall is just a memory, and shortly thereafter we hit 50%, and we will end the attack early, saving the health of our king and our queen for the next round. And so now we'll just review our GoWiWi to-do list. Choose angle of attack, clear defending heroes, use golems to distract, drop wall breakers on the sides, deploy those wizards to take out defenses, deal with the clan castle as necessary, use wall breakers to get to the center, drop that rage, drop the remaining troops, freeze and rage as appropriate, and collect that loot, and of course, those trophies. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the kind comments, likes, and subscribes. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to clarify. Also, just a disclaimer, this is obviously not the only way to do GoWiWi, and it may not even be the best way, but it's the way I've learned and it has been pretty effective for me. And speaking of effective attacks, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of those 4-star winners from Lost Phoenix during our last clan war with Crucible Wrath. And that would include D. Reverend, Metador, Takanohana, Warlord, Forlam, Docbone1, Achurda, Supertongue, J-Lo, C-Dub77, LookTrick 1979, Mom Manimal, and as first time on the 4-star list, Nightwish. And if you watched the last episode, you saw my fail to get a 2nd star against Jay's base, so I do not make the list. But I have already made up for it in the next clan war, as it has already begun with Arabian Hunters, and I went out and grabbed a quick 5 stars. Those replays coming in the next episode. I will again be out visiting clans next Sunday at League Reset, so if you'd like me to come by your clan and visit and drop off some max troops, just leave your name and your clan name in the comments and I will be sure to include you in my rounds.